And let's go to shell edit very quickly to see what we can do with shell. So I need to come to here. So okay, so for shell we have quite few options for editing shell and also dividing shell elements. We will check them one by one. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so one option we have is just simply dividing elements like what we had for frame. So if I come here, mesh areas, it gives me all these options, but you can see divide selected area is the name. So they are the same. If you come here in edit area, divide area, it gives you the same option. So the names is a bit different, but they are the same. So if I come here and say, okay, divide, I want to divide this shell element based on this arrangement from point 1 to 2, 4 segments, and from point 1 to 3 to 2 segments. What are for 1 to 2 and 1 to 3? They are representing one axis, axis 1 and axis 2. Axis 1 is, if we want to see them, I can come here and activate local axis for area in set display option and then apply, and I can see this is axis 1 and this is axis 2. So and for this one is different. So actually when you say point 1 to 2, in here is point 1 and point 2. 1 to 3 is point 1, point 3, and this is point 4. So always shell is like that, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for some reason this is actually draw reversely. I will show you later how to change it. Currently I'm just using this one, it's okay. If I select this and press apply, you can see I have 4 segments along one axis and 2 segments along 2 axes. If I choose the other one and come to the other option based on maximum mesh size and change them, for example, I need 0.5 meter for along 2 axes and 1 meter along 1 axis, and then press apply, you can see here is based on 1 meter in this direction and 0.5 meter in this direction. This is maximum mesh size. Sometimes the number is not regular based on the span. Shell match the size which is closest size to the mesh size you choose. Could be 0.9, could be 0.95 or anything like that, but wouldn't be more than 1 meter, and subdivided based on this. And the other options you have is if you can divide area based on the points on area edges. So you can say intersection of visible straight grid line with edge, intersection with selected straight frame, and selected point object. So I'm choosing selected point object, I'm selecting this, and I select few elements, objects like this. So for example, these 2 nodes. That means shell will be divided here if I choose this. It's happening like that. So just bear in mind that if I just select this element, some of them are activated, some of them you cannot see them. The reason is you need to select all relevant element that is mentioned here to activate them. For example, if I select this all together and then come here, I have them because they are addressing, for example, selected straight frame object or selected point object. So I have to have a selected point or frame object to be able to activate it. If I deselect all of them and come here again, they will go. So to show this feature, if I come here and I select, for example, this, the other options they have is, for example, intersection with a straight frame object. So if I choose a straight frame object and I have this frame object available here, and then I press apply, this will be subdivided to these 2 because I chose one frame object there. So currently this is a big shell element. If I choose intersection with all visible straight grid line, that means all grid line in all direction, and press apply, you can see this will be divided to as many as elements which are crossing shell element. Could be even partially, oops, going back. This could be even partially in different areas. So if I move back here to this, so I cannot see shell here because I didn't activate it. It's showing frame. Now you can see it better. So these big elements, I'm pressing Ctrl Z to make it again big to show you what's happening. If I press this, you can see all will be subdivided to elements like that. So to show other options we have, if I come here and for example I have a point here, and if I select this point and then come here, I can activate the cookie card based on selected point object, and I can give a number here. For example, it's mentioned 0 degree or 90 degrees or 45 degrees, but if I press 45 for this one and I press apply, it gives me this 45 degree like this, because it's not clear which way it can go. You have both of them. If I press Ctrl Z and again select this one and select this one and mention 0 degree, it gives me one like this. So Ctrl Z again. So if I am here and select this one and put here 90 degrees, it again gives me this. So it could be a small bug in SAP, or because 90 degrees is the other way, but so it cannot actually figure out what to do. If I come here and draw a special joint, for example somewhere, doesn't matter, here, and I say I want to subdivide this shell element based on this node, I can use this cookie card selected point object. And I think there is a bug here, because when I put 90 degrees, logically I should be able just to see the line along here, but actually it's actually subdividing in both ways for me like that, which is not correct. And even if I press Ctrl Z and use 0 degree, it again shows me the same. So I'm checking this one again with CSI to see it should be in just one way, not both ways, and I will let you know. The other thing we have is selected points and frames. So if I select these and these, I can come here and mention divide area using general divide tools based on selected points and frame, and what's the minimum size of divide object. I can say minimum size is 1.5. Yep. So I selected this frame, I selected this shell, and I say okay, don't go for less than 1.5, and I apply, and it gives me a mesh matching with these, and actually the maximum size is 1.5. Could be very fine based on what is shown. So you can play with this type of shell edit elements, and also these are the options I wanted to discuss with shell. I will leave the rest to a later stage, maybe advanced stage, because there are too many. And the other thing I want to show you is using reshape frame. So if I come here and select this shell element, I can draw this line. Again, the same issue as we have for line or frame edit. If I come here, one of them is activated. So if I move this one, it's okay. But if I select this, still this one activated, but I cannot move the other. All elements will be moved together. So I'm raising this one with CSI that just 0.1 and and I for frame and 0.1 for shell is activated for such edit. But you can move it. For example, you can select this one and move it wherever you want. Yeah, like this. So those are mainly edit for shell and frame. The other thing I would like to share with you very quickly, there are some other edits in assign mode. So if I choose this frame and show selection only, and then I'm coming to 3D and deactivate grid line, so I can see this one a bit better. Yep. So here you can see this grid axis is, as told you, is different. So if I want to change these, there are options here that I can come to assign, I can come to area, and here is reverse local tree. If I do that and press keep it the same global orientation and trace it back to exactly the same as the others. And there are some other options that you can use in assign for doing this, but you must be very careful how to use it. You can play with local axis yourself. For example, you want to rotate this one and change the orientation based on the angle you're saying. So specify standard local axis or as advanced local axis, or reset local axis to default. So default is currently for this one is this. So if you press this one and apply, nothing will happen because by default it was drawn like that. If I come here and mention, okay, I want to change this one to 90 degrees and apply, you see these two changed, but this one hasn't changed. So literally you're changing axis 1, so you rotate it 90 degrees. So if you select this one and rotate it 180 degrees, it's just rotating clockwise. Actually, sorry, it's coming clockwise based on the degrees. So it's now it's like that. So just be very mindful how to use this to ensure that you're getting the right result. So for element, you can do the same. So if you want to reverse the connectivity, so first of all, let's show the local axis for frame. Coming here, apply. Okay, then I'm just selecting this one, show selection only, and then I can use 3D, or the other option I have is I can use this perspective toggle, and then I will deactivate the grids and I can rotate it the way I want to see. So I'm coming here, I'm zooming in. So here, if I want to change this connectivity, if I choose this one and coming to assign frame, reverse connectivity, currently you can see the axis 1, axis 2, and based on right hand rules, axis 3. So if I change this one, axis 1 coming the other way. So I can say, okay, reverse connectivity and apply, and you can see now axis 2 here, axis 1 here, axis 2 the same. So based on right hand rules, axis 3 changed. So this is for frame. The other options we have for frame is just very quickly I tell you, let's go to XY plane, show all, and then I'm going one level up to have the braces. So here actually all braces by default are shown as pin connection, but if I choose another element, which actually all of them as rigid connection, and I'm coming here in assign frame and end release, which is release bar here, and I can choose, for example, moments 3 3 and 2 2 in each direction should be released. So you can see just this element release, not the others. So if you want to see the property of the release, you need to right click and coming here and you see end release, NI and NJ, what actually parts are actually shear or moment or torsion are released or not. For brace, when you use it by default, SAP will add torsion as well. So it's up to you if you want to have torsion in this release or not. You need to do it manually, but when you use automatic pin, it will happen always. So this is for end release, that you can play with that the way you want. And sometimes even axial load needs to be released. For example, you have a wall post at the end of the element with a slotted joint on top, so you don't want to move transfer any load of the beam or frame to the wall post, so you can release even axial. The other thing, the last one I want to share, is when you have a moment resisting frame, you can define the end offset. For if I come to frame, I am defining how much I want to have the rigidity at the end. So I will leave this end offset length I and j to auto because it's back to the size of the columns, and SAP automatically change the size of column, check the size of columns, and reduce that part from the moment, so it's not right at the center of column. But you can say, okay, it's not 100% rigid, so what's the rigid zone factor? Generally 0.5 is a reasonable number, so you can apply 0.5 and then you have it for your beams. So this is what I wanted to share about editing frame and shell. The next video we going for explaining how to define material properties and then section properties.